So as servants, when we're inviting people, the good news is that we get to say, the Master says the banquet is ready, and you don't have to bring anything other than yourself, other than your heart, other than your willingness to obey Him and call Him Lord. Last point about the servant. Servants invite because there is always more room at the table. In verse 22, "Sir," the servant said, "what you ordered has been done, but there is still room." Then the master told his servant, "Go out to the roads and the country lanes and compel them to come in so that my house will be full." Here's what I believe: the house will never be full. Jesus said, "I'm going to go prepare a place for you. If it were not true, I wouldn't have told you so that you can come and abide with me and my Father." The kingdom of heaven has no maximum capacity. There is no fire code that says, well, after the first 500, sorry, no more. We get to invite with confidence as servants, knowing that whoever decides to come, there's always another spot at the table for them. Doesn't matter if there's 20 tables that are this size and they've all got 20 chairs. Somehow, Jesus is going to make sure that there's one more spot just for the person that we're inviting. This is all well and good. This is great, good stuff, David. I hear you saying it, but so what? How does it apply to this world in which we live, the 21st century, and all the craziness that's going around? I'll offer you a picture. Maybe you recognize this from the news. This is the little boy named Omar from Syria. Syria is going through what has now been a 3 years running civil war. That means people that used to be neighbors are killing each other. And there are no out of bounds. It's not like they say, well, that building has children in it, so we don't bomb that building. He was plucked from the rubble of a building that had just been bombed. And the news cameras caught him, and he was completely shell-shocked, he was bleeding, he was covered in dirt, and it broke my heart. And made me think about this banquet table, and I was like, how does that work with guys like Omar? And then there's this other guy, his name was Alex. He's 6 years old, and he wrote a letter to the President of the United States. And it reads the following. It says, "Dear Mr. President, remember the boy who was picked up by the ambulance in Syria? Can you please go get him and bring him to my home? Park in the driveway or on the street, and we will be waiting for you guys with flags, flowers, and balloons. We will give him a family, and he will be our brother. Catherine, my little sister, will be collecting butterflies and fireflies for him. In my school, I have a friend from Syria, also named Omar, and I'll introduce him to him. We can play together, we can invite him to birthday parties, and he will teach us another language. We can teach him English too, just like my friend Hato from Japan. Please tell him that his brother will be Alex, who is a very kind boy just like you. Since he won't bring toys and doesn't have toys, Catherine will share her big blue stripy white bunny. And I will share my bike, and I will teach him how to ride it. I will teach him additions and subtractions and math. And he can smell Catherine's lip gloss, penguin, which is green. She doesn't let anyone touch her. Thank you very much. I can't wait for you to come. Alex, 6 years old." I don't know about you. That embodies the heart of Jesus Christ. And he's telling Omar, this little boy in Syria, don't even clean yourself up. Don't worry about the dirt. Don't worry about the blood. Don't worry about the fact that your hair's all messed up. Just come to the banquet and be my brother. I think tonight we all need a little bit of Omar, and we need a little bit of Alex. We need to realize that like Omar, we're dirty, we're nasty, we're covered in just gunk and stuff, but Jesus Christ calls us anyway, because just like he said in Matthew, he said, come to me all, not just some, but all, who are weak and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. People like Omar come, bloodied, wounded, broken up. You, sinner, broken, bleeding, dead in your sin, come. I'll give you rest. We also need a little bit of Alex. We need to be that servant that has that heart that says, come to the banquet. And my master who sent me, my master who says, you get to come just like you are, because the banquet is ready, it's finished, you don't have to do anything else, you don't have to bring a gift. My master who says, in the end, there's always more room at the table. Come on. Be a part of that banquet. No excuses. Come and receive that eternal life. One final question. Who needs to come to the banquet table? Because tonight, the banquet table that Christ has before us is better than any banquet room in Pizza Inn in Pickens. And I'm telling you, this banquet table that Jesus has for you, it's a white linen affair. You got your soup. You got your dinner plate. You got your serviceware. Knife on the outside. Spoon gives it a hug. Fork on the other side. You got your glass. For what else? Some good sweet tea. Some of us tonight have never accepted that invitation to come to the banquet table. So when we ask the question, who needs to come to the banquet table? Maybe the answer is you. You need to come to the banquet table tonight for the very first time. Maybe you guys have come to the banquet table and you know how awesome the party is. Now it's your job as a servant to just invite other people, because the master sends you, the banquet's ready, and there's always more room. So I'm going to invite James Howard and the priest team to come up here, and I just really want just a very, very simple time of reflection. If you in your heart know that it's time to come to the banquet table, looking for my note cards. You guys see my note cards? Like I said, they're right around my clip. If you need to come to the banquet table tonight for the very first time, just put your name down. Get it to me. We'll talk. Jesus says, come as you are. If you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I'm part of this banquet, I'm a servant. Now it's time for me to do the servant's work, and I know the people I need to invite. Come write their name. Just put their first name down and just put it here. Put it here. We're going to be praying over these names so that you'll do the work of the servant. But just like last week, we talked about when the servant goes out, you talk about what you see, what you hear, how Jesus touched you. Not only that, but you say, when you get to come to a banquet, right here and right now. So the band, if you would just James Howard, if you just play a little bit before we start to sing, if you guys would just respond, I'm going to pray before you do. Father, and this time, before we sing, before we do anything, may we just be still and reflect. Maybe it's the only time we've done this week, to put ourselves before you, holy God that you are, and ask ourselves, do I need to come to the banquet table for the first time? Because now I know that I'm invited. Do we need to say, hey, I know I'm a servant of Jesus. I'm a part of this dinner party here that's going on, but now it's time to do the work of the servant, and I've got to invite people. Not to add another number to how many people we have here at worship, but to add a number to the kingdom, God. Father, may we be truthful and honest before you tonight and respond in kind. For it's in Jesus' name we pray.